This is Bridget Raw with Divine Essentials. Alright guys, it's been a crazy ass day. It is late. I am exhausted. We are going to jump in and do a reading. I had 192 stops today on my thing. Just for an idea here, I've usually never gotten over 140. And the other day, like the other guys had like 80. So when I went in today and saw 192, I was like, and that's just stops. That doesn't mean multi-location. Sometimes one stop is like 4 different houses. It's a lot of stops, guys. I was like, oh my God, I'm not even supposed to work today. So you could be getting some like unexpected weird shit too, going on in your life. Yeah, I got the devil here with the 7 of Pentacles. So, just be mindful that like sometimes there's things that happen or seeds get planted, and how we respond and how we show up can really determine the outcome of those seeds that get planted. You know, like I knew 192 was a lot and I was like, what the hell? But I still danced and had fun and played the music, and I just went quick like I always do. But 2 guys came to rescue me at the end of the day. But the only thing about that is you are not sure if someone's coming to rescue you or not. Like, they can say no. They may be busy themselves. Maybe only one person comes and takes 1 bag, you know, so it's up in the air. But I feel like because I didn't let it, like, destroy the day, because I, you know, am aware of energy and aware of these things, I will consciously be like, okay, like I can see there's chaos around, or this day isn't starting off the greatest. It started off like me knowing a certain person wasn't going to be there. Because of that, I wanted to get there faster, and because I wanted to get there faster, when I went to the USPS, there was a long line, and then like there was the people that are working there aren't working appropriately, like leaving, and this one's closed, and there's none of the things that I need. And it sets you up for like, right? So then when I get to work, I find that like a lot of people didn't plug their stuff in last night, so it's not charged. And there's like so many of us, and there's no sheet to put our stuff that we put down every day. So this is like a boop, 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 and it leads up to me being like, oh my God, 192? What? So I had my moment of being like, what the fuck, boop, boop. But then after that, I put on music. And I like just got myself into the zone, and I was having a good time, even though it was crazy. And even though I got wrapped up in that morning of like, oh my God, we need to be mindful of what's going to go on that next thing. Like, all right, we have that in our control to stop this at any time and be like, I'm not going to give that energy. I'm not going to let this bullshit like rock my boat and make me sad or make me mad. And you may find people try to do that to you too, you know, like even this energy, it could be the manifestation of someone else's energy trying to like harm you, right? And I don't think that's necessarily the case, but I think that it can feed into this, right? Like if something is going on with you and another person, you can let that carry into those seeds that get planted, and being like, so frustrated that now we set off like a domino effect in our life of things that need to be healed, or, you know, and just like craziness. And it's like the universe keeps dealing to you what you're expecting, what you're rippling out, what you're, you know, doing. And so let's see what's going on in the energy with your person. Are they feeling this energy? What's going on with them? There was a couple of songs that came through today. I can't think of the name. There was a song that was so funny because I just, like, the freaking words of it, I was like, but it goes along with the messages that are coming out, okay? Freaking every time I do a reading, Page of fucking Swords comes out. Somebody could be looking at you, boppity boop. The name of the song was, like, Private Eyes. Like, private, I don't even know. Basically, like, nothing you do is private. This person's eyes are on you. It was what came through, and it was just laughable. Now, again, Spirit speaks to me all the time, and so I know things. Three of Cups, right? I know, like, when they're giving me a message. And it was like 3 concurrent songs were going on like this. Hopefully I can remember the names of them, but it's along those lines. And every song that came through was like, oh, keep looking, and like all about looking, okay? And that was the first card that came out last night, was like, somebody could be looking at you. And I feel like they're trying to act like they're not, like they're privately doing it. They're privately looking at you. They're pretending that they're not, okay? Pretending like they're busy. Pretending like, oh, I'm just so busy over here doing this and doing that, and I'm not looking at you, but it's an illusion. And that was like the messages that were coming through. It was, and it's laughable because it's just like, I just know shit, right? It's like, I just know. So I start laughing at these things, and then that puts us into the right flow of things too. It's like, okay, now my bad day is not so bad, and now things are going better, because I'm not letting these illusions, I'm not letting these mundane things that happen in our lives completely ruin me, you know? Like, okay, whatever. It just gives me more motivation to make sure I come home and keep planting the seeds here, to make sure I come home and do another reading, to make sure that I keep putting the effort into my life so that I don't have to be doing all these extra chaotic things that you know, put me into that energy at all. But like, I was still doing something from my own business this morning when it started, so it can happen anywhere. It doesn't have to be like, oh, this is just because it's this, or just be like, we may want to compartmentalize things, or we may want to look at certain things within our life as like less than, or more painful or difficult, or just like, ugh. And when we look at things like that, we actually like hinder ourselves and get stuck, you know? And so I feel like your person could be doing that to themselves too. They could be looking at themselves and their life and feeling like inadequate about it, or trying to make it appear, I don't even know, like even to ourselves we do this, like we try to give ourselves like an excuse of like, oh, this is why, or that is why. And it doesn't even matter. Whatever the reasoning is for what's going on in your world, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't make you less than, or better than, or worse than, or anything like that. It's just like, it's just where you're at. How you look at it though, and what you do from that spot will determine how long you stay there. So if you're in resistance to where you are, but you aren't actively trying to like manifest something different, then nothing will change. And if you're where you're at and you are trying to manifest things to change, you've got to be mindful not to get hung up on those other things that can be deterrent to the good, right? Because it's just as easy as that. But I feel like your person may be trying to take action, communicate, travel towards making some sort of movement after a long wait, okay? They may be also kind of like, what the fuck? Why is the universe dealing me this? Or like, what am I supposed to do? What is going to make me happy? Where is my emotional fulfillment? Like, you know, is this my Two of Cups? Where is my Two of Cups? Who am I supposed to work with? What am I supposed to do? What is my wish come true? Like, they could just, you know, we all do that though. And even when we get ourselves into positions, think about all the times that, like, when you look back on stuff, a lot of times we look back at like, oh, that was so better. That was much easier. That was all great. But in those moments, it is most likely that you were chaotic in those moments too. Like, oh, it was so like, in the moment. But like in hindsight, like when things decline in our little minds, we look back as like, oh, that was so amazing. But it probably wasn't all that different. And if it was all that different, being on this side now can show you and help you to be like, oh, well, when we get there again, let's not do this. Like, let's be grateful for it. Let's learn the lesson of it so that we can acquire that again and stay there or rise up from. Let's not do the things that block us from our blessings. So your person could be in that energy too, feeling like learning the lessons of like, if I like something and I want something and boopity bops, like, I gotta stop doing the things that keep me from that, or eventually push me further away from, you know? Yeah, so the karmic loops, the karmic cycle, working on this, working on figuring out how to handle the fucking triggers, how to handle the fact that, like, this is life, buddy. Like, this is This is your life, buddy. You can, you can decide at any time to live the life that you know you want to, or live the life that is in opposition to. You know what I mean? Like, this is how we all are. So at any time, we can decide to be the Empress and just take back the control of what's going on. And I feel like your person's trying to do this too, wanting to find their value and their worth, wanting to open up their heart, wanting to be passionate, wanting to be all of the things that lead us to being the Emperor. We got 3 kings here. So it's like, yeah, this person's trying to figure the things out so that they can embody the right energy and drop the fucking burdens of anxiety and stress and game playing and just being locked down. Like, we fool ourselves, we lie to ourselves. Like, oh, I miss this person, I know this is my person, but I'm just gonna know. Even though I want a new start, and I want, like, awesome things, and I want to be the fucking Emperor, I'm just gonna pretend that I don't, because I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'm gonna mess it up. Or I'm afraid I'm gonna break it. Or I'm afraid it's gonna fall apart like it did before. Or I'm afraid boop. So I'm just gonna be over here by myself, pretending that everything's fine, even though I want to be over there. So, I feel like they may be needing to get creative in what they're going to be rippling out and how they're planting the seeds so that the right things can grow, and the right action can be moved that doesn't lead us to broken hearts and, like, sadness and oh no's. Transforming all of those things. So they could be trying to transform communication, or how they're going to reach out to you, how they want to reconcile with you, how they're going to come out of this 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacle energy. How are they going to open up and receive what they fucking want, instead of pretending like they don't, with the moon here. Yeah, and the sleepless nights, insecurities, holding back, all of these things. They break their own heart, and they need to find the strength to be mindful of what they're putting out so that the right things can ripple back, and then they can have their 10 of Pentacles, and the actions that they take will lead them to better days rather than sleepless nights and illusions and pretending or distracting or just doing things that come from this self-protection instead of taking the leap of faith towards, oh, this is so nice. So, I don't know. I feel like this person just needs to find some strength. With the ocean of emotion here, look, I know your pain more than you know. Like, they're frustrated with themselves. They're frustrated with the situation. They miss you. They miss your warmth. They are confident that things will work out for you, but they're also worried. They're carrying a lot of weight on themselves, and they're also in some denial. They're bored. Okay, like I said, they're fucking bored, but they could be pretending like they're not. Like, oh, I'm totally fine, but we know that you're not. And that they miss the passion, they miss the beauty, they miss the seduction, and they're like, I just don't know if I can do it. And that's like what I said. They just have to make the decision to heal and stop staying stuck. If they miss the warmth, they gotta stop being cold. Stop being cold, and it'll be warm. Not knowing what's going on. All these secrets, right? Like I said, private eyes. Like, I wish I could remember that song. It was like an 80s song too, but it was like, I knew immediately, like, because sometimes I just get those knowings. I knew immediately what Spirit was saying by the lyrics, and I was like, okay, look, I think I can fix this, courage. So this person just needs to find that strength. They know deep down, okay? They know deep down, but they just gotta fucking figure it out, okay? They will heal. They will be becoming the Emperor eventually, and that will lead them to their 10 of Pentacles. But in the meantime, you seduce them, and they're trying to figure out how they're gonna become strong enough to come towards the beauty and stop despising themselves and stop feeling like they've made a fool of themselves. They're just making a fool of themselves every day that they do the stupid shit, okay? It's like, I can't get my mind off of here. I remember you boop boop. But I'm just gonna stay over here and focus on it privately. My anxiety's like, there's a lot of anxiety, and also just not knowing things, but like, they do know, but they don't trust what they know, okay? And yeah, look, I don't know how to fix. They do know how to fix, but they act like they feel like they don't, so they act like they don't because they don't believe that they do. They need to believe in themselves. They need to believe that they can have more. They want to go to the depth. They want to give you more. You illuminate the darkness within them. You've helped them to figure these things out. They've got rage. They've been irresponsible. They know they've done some stupid shit, so they carry all this stuff. But they don't need to. And they could fix things very quickly if they just believed in themselves and found their own strength. How many times we're going to see some strength cards? Look at even the little lion here with the lovers is that lion energy. They need to find the strength to open up and to stop portraying this falseness, and to become the magician. Like, you don't need to keep planting those same seeds, dude. Gotta plant a different seed if you want something else to grow. And it's gotta be confident. You gotta know that the seed's gonna grow or it won't grow, okay? Very simple concept. Believe. If you want to have fun, you want to play, you want to do good, you want beauty in your life, stop being scared, okay? If it scarred you, there was a reason. Doesn't always mean it will always be, okay? Sometimes things will get easier. We all have pain. We all go through things so that we can empathize with others. I'm just really busy working. They probably are, throwing themselves into distractions, but they are becoming weaker and weaker. So hopefully this serves you. Namaste.